The cursed world of ancient rituals can blow your mind. When you become the part of that Horalius chain, it becomes even more scarier. Iris, a young broke teenager girl, finds herself stuck in the cursed world created by her father. He wanted to save her from the lifelong prison, but the greed drags her into the hole of curse. The story opens with Neil, who knocks on the bar's door one rainy night. When Owen, the owner, opens the door, Neil begs to see his deceased wife. He offers Owen a large sum of money in exchange for the ability to communicate with her. Owen declines the lucrative offer and orders Neil to leave. As Neil leaves, Owen takes a sip of his drink to calm himself. He then leaves a letter for the next owner, revealing the dark truth of this place, saying, "This property comes with a special tenant. You are her guardian, and she cannot leave the basement. Her curse will come to an end tonight with me." He is sacrificing himself for the end of this everlasting curse. After that, he goes into the basement and ties someone to a chair before pouring oil on it. As he prepares to start a fire, something brushes against his face, and he rushes out of the place, engulfed in flames and killed instantly. Following that, a young girl named Iris enters a property with a friend to pack her belongings due to her inability to pay the rent. Suddenly, she receives a call informing her that her father has died. Owen, the owner of that haunting pub, is her father. Deep into the shock and sadness, she books a flight to London to identify her father's body at the morgue. A lawyer leads her to her father's tavern and shows her around. She asks if she can stay the night, and he complies considering the amount of despair she is holding. Katie tells her that she will pay her a visit that night. While sleeping, she hears something downstairs and investigates. While investigating, she notices Neil and gathers some liquor bottles to defend herself. Iris considers him a danger and points the glass bottle at him. But he begs to see his wife, who is in the basement. When he offers her £8,000 to visit his wife, she says he should come back tomorrow because she hasn't received the basement keys yet. Before handing Iris the key to the house, the attorney gives her an old contract to sign as well as a cassette tape with a secret message from her father. When Katie arrives the next day, Iris informs her that Neil would like to see her wife in the basement. When Neil comes, Iris leads him to the basement. Neil enters the basement and calls for someone to appear, but no one answers. When Iris approaches whoever is in the hole, they notice a shadow emerge. Soon, a strange creature wrapped in a sack with a bag over its head appears and attempts to approach Iris. When she tells it to stop, the monster sits down in the chair. Neil sits beside the creature and presents it with his wife's ring, which it accepts and places in its mouth. Neil then secures the creature in the chair. The beast transforms into a lady. When Neil removes the bag covering the woman's head, he is surprised to learn that she is not his wife, but her mother. He wonders why his mother left him as a child. Her response stings deeply. Following his birth, life felt like a prolonged death. Then, unexpectedly, she asks him to kiss her because, as a child, he refused to kiss her. In terror, Neil fled the scene. When he glances back, she has disappeared from the chair. While searching the basement in surprise, he is suddenly grabbed by the woman from an unexpected angle. She demands a kiss before abruptly puking on him. When Iris commands her to stop, the woman stops vomiting water, and Neil instructs Iris to cover her head again with the bag. As Iris complies, the woman transforms into her normal form, spitting out the ring before retreating to the hole. When they come out of this dark dungeon, Neil reveals that the ring once belonged to his mother. He suggests that they should call his wife some other time, but Iris is super scared to do it again, so she refuses. She advises him to accept that his wife has died, and he should find peace. Before leaving, he admits that he failed to inform her that they could only talk to her for 2 minutes. She later watches a video in which her father informs her about the creature. He tells her not to let the monster out of the dungeon, no matter what happens. He warns her not to speak with the monster again and apologizes to Iris for abandoning her as a child. After finishing the tape, Katie confronts Iris about the woman in the basement and orders her to leave the premises. Iris responds by suggesting that they stay here for a few days because she does not have anywhere else to go. But she needs to ensure the safety, so she writes "Do not cross" on the stairwell and warns the creature not to take that step. Katie places a barrel against the entrance for safety. As she turns to leave, a picture from the wall falls. She picks it up and begins looking at it. While investigating, she discovers someone sitting in front of her. She is afraid and grabs a stick to defend herself, but there is no one nearby. When Iris visits Neil's home, he generously offers her tea. They talk about Iris' father, and Neil admits that he negotiated a deal with her father to speak with his late wife, but the plan failed when her father changed his mind. Iris is taken aback and admits she knew little about her father and didn't know where he lived. Both of them return to the basement, where Neil presents the monster with a necklace once owned by her wife. As Iris realizes the clock is ticking, Neil takes the bag off the creature's head, revealing his late wife. Neil embraces her and inquiries about the guy she was seeing, knowing she is going to leave him. Iris informs him that only 30 seconds remain, but Sarah cannot recall anything. After 2 minutes, Sarah tells him that there was no other man, she simply did not want to be with him anymore. As Iris prepares to lay the bag over her head, the beast steps back. It suddenly gets dark, and Iris hears her mother's voice. She approaches her, but just as she is about to place the bag on her mother's head, her mother cries and moves closer to Iris, seeking to cover her lips. Iris instructs the creature to obey her, but it responds with the biggest truth of Iris' life: we are both prisoners. Before she puts the bag back on her head, Iris confronts Neil for lying to her, and Katie tells him to leave. As she sits, she notices her father talking to her mother. She gets to know the last conversation of her parents. Also, how her father called her mother right before dying. Owen comes up with the idea of burning down the home so that no one needs to look after it. As he attempts to light the lighter, he is scorched in the fire. Iris saw his father's death in an illusion. Iris awakens at night and goes to the basement. She discovers her father there, but when he touches him, the entire face slips apart, revealing the creature's rage. She attempts to choke it, but feels she is being choked. When she removes the mask, she sees her own face and awakens from her nightmare, gasping for air. She walks to the restroom to use the scissors, but Katie comes and cuts the key strip from her neck before discarding it. They both go to visit the solicitor, but no one is there. When they go home, Katie tells her to leave since this place is driving her crazy. Iris is unhappy with her because she believes Katie is constantly taking things away from her, and she is doing it right now. The monster listens in as they argue in misery. Katie leaves and travels to the lawyer's place to find answers. When she arrives, she finds an abandoned structure with indications on its walls. She gets all of the necessary information and leaves a voicemail for Iris. To communicate with the creature, she offers it her father's watch. When he meets her child, he apologizes for leaving her, explaining that he tried to return but her mother became ill and eventually died. When he tries to leave the location, Iris asks her father how to control the creature, but he admits he knows nothing about it other than its power increases with each use. Suddenly, her father's form is devoured by fire, and he cautions her not to summon him again with a distorting voice. Katie returns, turns, and goes to the basement. Suddenly, the beast appears behind her, forcing her to retreat to the staircase. In a terrifying act, the creature grabs and devours an image. The creature then takes off the disguise, revealing a man named Otto. She calls the man so he can spill the beans. He explains that the creature was once a woman who had the ability to resuscitate the dead. The Brotherhood discovered her skills and tried to use them. When she refused, they called her a witch and burnt her alive. However, her death triggered evil events, causing the Brotherhood to perform a ritual to confine her. Despite this, they continue to abuse her position, resulting in dire consequences. He also informs that there are only sorrow and unanswered riddles when it comes to that Baghead lady. They can't get rid of her. Iris receives a call from Katie downstairs and hurries to investigate, but she hears her voice coming from a hole. Instead, she ventures farther into the tunnel and discovers Katie's lifeless body, overcome with rage and sadness. Iris pledges to end the creature's life. In a desperate attempt to run, she races towards the exit, but the beast pursues her relentlessly. Meanwhile, Neil enters the basement and rescues her. He also offers Iris pain medication while assuring her of his support. However, when Iris awakens during the night, she discovers that the pills Neil gave her were sleeping pills. She overhears Neil speaking to the monster in the basement and volunteers to be her protector. Sarah steps forward and orders him to kill Iris, just as he did his family, if he wants to be the guardian. Neil, who wants to get the hold of this pub, considers the Baghead's commands. He is hesitant initially, but when he realizes Iris knows the truth, he chases and murders her. On the roof, he tries to strangle her, but Iris hits him in the head and leaves. He grabs her on the stairs before releasing her, leaving her to fall to her death. He then transmits her body to the monster, which consumes an item belonging to Iris, and Iris emerges from the creature's shape. Neil asks Iris how he can become her guardian, but the creature thanks him for murdering her previous guardian. Neil has been used by the creature, and now she can never be stopped because her owner has been died. The creature informs him that the name on the contract is still Iris, that she is still her master, and now she can possess Iris' soul too. So she has no one left to obey now. The creature admits that she was the one who pulled all the strings to set herself free, and Neil foolishly follows her. Suddenly, the lights go out, and the overpowered Baghead pulls Neil into the hole. His mother grabs his arms and breaks them, while his wife grabs his head and knocks it to the ground. Iris appears and uses a chair to end Neil's misery. The creature, now resembling Iris, leaves the pub, and the entire place is quickly consumed by fire, bringing the story to an end. She is finally out now to play her revenge. She will destroy her abusers now, hence the curse never ends, and those who abuses the powers will always get severe punishments. If you like this movie, then don't forget to like and subscribe the channel.